Good morning. I'm Brian Atkins. I have been a practitioner here for, going on 18 years. That's a little horrifying to think about. And I will be doing the announcements today, but first I want to go ahead and invite our light holder out today. He's been a practitioner for over 15 years, and he's a master practitioner, and his name is Ed Cox. So holding the light is a very important part of the service. It's a person who sits back there and meditates and keeps the consciousness elevated in the back. So now for announcements. All right, well, we have Fiesta Weekend coming up next Sunday after second service. So this is for all the people who have been supporting. There's a concert after, there's a lunch and a concert after second service. So please be ready to avail yourself of that. It's our way of giving back to those people who helped out at Seaside. In addition, we have classes coming up. Now, classes are a great way of really making the most out of your church experience, Seaside experience, I should say, a center experience, because it's an opportunity to really connect on a much deeper basis. And I really encourage you to go ahead and avail yourself of this. If you're not doing the classes, you're actually kind of selling yourself short. If you're only showing up on Sundays, you're not getting the full communal feeling here at Seaside. And so we have Roots and Foundations coming up. Foundations, I think everybody should go through. That will give you all the basics and really help you to connect. And that's going to be coming up on Tuesday nights, both of them. We also have chair yoga this Thursday, September 19th, and it's going on for every week in the family room through December 19th. The correct time for this class is 1 to 2 p.m. This class is pay as you go or register online. And next Saturday, September 21st, practitioner Rebecca Berry and Kay Samuelson have their monthly breathwork and sound class. Breathwork is really powerful stuff. I really encourage you guys to avail yourself of that. For further messages, please see your folder, the leaflet for Seaside. And with that, I invite all of you to get up and greet at least 3 people around you.
Good morning, Seaside. Please remain standing for our congregational song. We know this one. We've done it forever, and sing it all along with us. A little call and response. All right, here we go. I am listening to the music of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a song, God is singing. I will listen all day long. I will listen all day long. Sing, oh yeah, hey ya, 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 oh yeah, hey ya. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey ya, 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 oh yeah, hey ya. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh up for Bob and our very own Seaside Band. I am moving to the rhythm of the Holy Spirit. This dance of life, God inspired, keeps me dancing. My faith is strong, keeps me dancing. My faith is strong. Oh yeah, hey ya. 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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey ya. 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 Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh yeah, hey ya. Oh yeah, hey ya. Hallelujah. One more time. Say, oh yeah, hey ya. Oh yeah, hey ya. Hallelujah. Thanks for the help, gang.
Yeah, all right. Whew, sounding good up there with you two.
Yeah,
behind
a
the
little
big-
trio going on.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, hey, we got a concert next week, huh?
Yeah, we do. We're going to be, Kenny Dye is our special guest, and
Oh,
she's going to
sweet.
stay after for the fiesta and play some music for us as well.
Sounds good. So fiesta means we got piñatas. Brian
Piñatas
shook it
and
around here, right?
some tacos and a whole bunch of goodies.
Oh, right.
And I hear it's free.
It's free.
I hear it's like you just don't have to pay anything. You just come and hang out.
Yeah, I think the board just wants to say thank you to everybody
Yeah.
for your love and support and generosity this year.
Sounds good.
So bring at least a couple people. Free lunch, free concert. It is true. It's happening right here with Kenny Dye. It'll be great.
Yeah.
So thanks for setting that up for us.
You got it.
All right. Hey, good morning, Seaside. Woo! What a joy it is to be with you on this wonderful day. If you're up early, it was foggy, it was thick. It could have been in Carmel or North County of San Diego, you know. It was just, it's wonderful to watch the sun emerge, just like our spirit. And that's what happens when you do mindful practices. So this morning's message is in alignment with healing and health and being mindful. And so I encourage you to take your phone out and text or hit your social media up and let people know where you are, what's going on. We've got some great music here, got a great message unfolding. We're live streaming it so they can be with you and watch it wherever they are. And you guys at home, we love you. We have got a whole online community that just hooks in every week. And we know you're there. We're grateful to you and thank you for your support because Seaside is about being a thriving spiritual community that inspires us to live our divinity. Whether you're physically here or virtually with us, we are a community and consciousness that's making a profound difference on the planet. And one of the reasons is because we put spirit first always, and that's what we're going to do right now by bringing up a powerful prayer. This is Kathleen Lee's. More than 20 years she's been a practitioner here at Seaside.
Please join me in a moment of silence. I'm tremendously grateful for the opportunity to be in this time and space with the loving family of my spiritual community. And knowing that as we each come together here to spend this special time together where we acknowledge who we truly are in our spirit, and that we come together, bless that in ourselves, recognize it in each other, and then go back out into the rest of the world and take ourselves refreshed and renewed, but also take our new perspective, our enhanced perspective of who we are and what we can do and why we're here. So knowing that there is a message here, there is joy and happiness and interaction, but there's also a message to be learned here today. So knowing that message is clear and forthright and received with the same love and generosity with which it is sent. So grateful for all that we do when we come together, and knowing we each go away from this beautiful space that we've created as our spiritual home. We each come here together, share this time together, and then go out and take this newness and this joy and the blessings of knowing we are all one, we are all blessed, we are all expressions of the one Spirit. So it is.
All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. God is good, and so it is. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. God is good, and so it is. God is good, and so it is.
Thank you, Rebecca Jade, for your beautiful song. Thank you, Max, for your awesome piano playing. And thank you, Kathleen Lees, for your beautiful prayer. So now it's my opportunity to do our reading, but before I go into that, I want you to know that if you are here for the very first time, you are very welcome here. And we have a gift for you. We have a little packet that you can pick up either on the northern end of the building or the west side of the building. And in that, you'll find things like coupons and stuff like that. So please avail yourself of that and know that we are very happy that you're here. So our message today is mindfulness, the mindfulness of healing. And one of the things that I love about the healing of mindfulness, one of the things I love about this day and age that we live in is that it's very easy to do research on just about anything you want. And I chose to do that with the mindfulness reading that I did. I went out there and Googled all the TED Talks that included mindfulness, and there are a ton of them, which is really inspiring because what it tells me is that the world is getting the idea that they're learning that this mindfulness stuff really works. And the one I chose has been viewed over 1 million times. It's by Shauna Shapiro, and it's called What You Practice Grows Stronger. And she's looking for answers, and in this part of the message she says, "This surge led me to a monastery in Thailand for my first meditation retreat. My only instruction was to feel the breath going in and out of my nose. So I began, 1 breath, 2 breaths. My mind wandered off. I brought it back, and 1 breath, 2 breaths, it wandered off again. Sucked into the past or lost in the future. And no matter how I tried, I just couldn't stay present. So I was trying hard just to be present, but no matter how hard I tried, my mind kept wandering off. And at that point, I really started to judge myself. What's wrong with you? You're terrible at this. Why are you even here? You're a fake. And not only was I judging myself, I started judging others, like the monks. Why are they just sitting there? Shouldn't they be doing something? Thankfully, a monk from London arrived who spoke English. And as I shared with him my struggles, he looked at me and he said, "Oh dear, you're not practicing mindfulness. You're practicing judgment, impatience, frustration." And then he said 5 words that have never left me. "What you practice grows stronger." The monk explained to me that if I was meditating with judgment, I was going to get judgment. Meditating with frustration, I'm going to get frustration. He helped me understand that mindfulness isn't just about paying attention. It's about how we pay attention with kindness. He also pointed out that we're practicing all the time, moment by moment, not just when we're meditating, but in every moment. We're growing something in every moment. So the question really is, what do you want to grow? What do you want to practice?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good word to get us started. Good morning, Seaside. How you doing? Good. Well, it is my honor, as it is on Sundays, to introduce our guest artists. And this couple has been just here hanging out and sharing their beautiful music for a long time. And we're so grateful that they're here again with us this morning. We have, actually next week, Deline is celebrating her birthday. And then 2 days after that, they're celebrating their 31-year anniversary, wedding anniversary.
And we still like each other, too.
That's good. That's a good thing right there. So they have CDs, so please see them after the service. And without further ado, let's give a nice Seaside welcome to Cahill and Deline.
And by the way, I want to thank you in advance for singing both of our songs with us.
You're very welcome.
All right.
Always honored.
So we're going to do a song that is definitely about the mindfulness of healing. It's a song you all know and love from the 70s called "I Can See Clearly Now." And I always thought this song was about weather, but it's about whether or not you think positive thoughts in your head. Well, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. Yeah, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Yeah, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Now here is that rainbow I've been praying for. Yeah, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Yeah, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. Ooh, whoa. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. Yeah, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Yeah, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Oh, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Yeah, it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Ooh, yeah.
That is Cahill and Darlene with Rebecca in there. Oh my goodness, what great harmony. It's just a happy song, you know? It just, yeah, it makes me smile. But that's what happens when your mind gets clear. It gets happy, you know? It gets clear. It's that feel-good kind of sense. Anyway, as you know, this year we have committed to taking a look at healing. This morning in particular is the mindfulness of healing. And that mindfulness, just being aware of the truth of who you are, what you are, which is spirit expressing. And Ernest Holmes, the founder of our philosophy, says that health is our natural state. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to reveal. We don't like put our health back in there so we get better. That is what the truth of who we are. We reveal it. It's like a silver teapot, you know? You want the silver teapot to shine, you wipe away the tarnish, and the silver is there already. You know, our health is there, and so what we do with our mindfulness is we allow ourselves to become more aware of the truth that is there, that is something sometimes covered by the things that are going on in our life. That is what tarnishes our perspective and our awareness. And so the Buddhists talk about, you don't want to dwell on the past or live in the dreams of the future, but you want to bring your awareness to the now. See, the now is where the healing happens. The now is where the presence of God is experienced, because if it was back then, well, that's in your memory of the past. If it's out there, well, that's, you know, it's your futurizing. What you want to do is be present now. You want to be mindful of this moment. I saw a bumper sticker that says, mindfulness isn't difficult. You just have to remember to do it. It's not tough. You just got to bring yourself back here. You got to bring yourself back here now. Last week when we were in Montana, I'm walking along one of our beautiful paths around our house, and the wild grass, and the morning of the dew dripping off the pine needles, and the sound of the geese flying by. And I just remind myself, man, this is a miracle. I mean, this is really amazing. People, that's what I'm talking about too, you know? That's it. Well, some people talk about the miracle of walking on water or walking in thin air. What I came to realize is the miracle is right here, walking on this earth, seeing the blue skies, the white clouds, and smelling what is going on. You know, are you able to experience the miracle that is available to you now in this moment? And that's what mindful does. That is right on with that. And so what is important is for us to begin. Here's a great philosopher from us, Winnie the Pooh. Remember that guy? You know, he says, what day is this? And Piglet answers, well, it's today. And to which Winnie says, oh, that's my favorite day, you know. And so you get to frame it. That's what mindfulness does. It allows you to come back to this moment and to frame it and say, okay, God, I'm here. I'm available. Because if you're missing out on this moment and today, what's happening is you're missing out on your life. It's gone. It's like, and you can't get it back. Once this moment is gone, you're available to the next. But it's like running around, as I said, trying to pick up the sound from the bell, you know, trying to get it back in there. It doesn't work. But what you can do is recast your availability to the presence of God. And something happens when you choose to get mindful. It's like things become available. I mean, you ever seen a magician where they brings out their assistant, and they stick them in that box, and they take out this metal, and they bang it on something, and they take it, and they like slice the body in half. You've seen that one, right? And then they like cut off the head and they move the box of their head over to the east. And then they take the torso and they move it over to the west. And then they take their right leg and they put it to the north and their left leg to the, and they're like the pieces are all over. How they do that, I don't know. It is magic. And you know, but then with their magic, they go, you know, whoof, or abracadabra, or they wave a flag and boom. And then all the pieces come back together and the body's whole. How'd that happen? Magic, I just found out. But I'll tell you what, is that that's what mindfulness does. It brings all of the abstract pieces that's going on. You know, we feel this is separate and this is separate and that. What mindfulness does is it brings everything back into the totality of the wholeness or the continuity of the body, of the life, of the spirit, of the soul. Now, Carolyn Meese said that the soul always knows how to heal itself. I mean, that's it. When I can become mindful and remember that my soul always knows how to heal itself, and when I need to go whoof, or whatever it is to bring myself back into alignment. And that looks like our mindful practice. And practice means you got to practice. You've got to do that. You've got to remember that it's not difficult, but you've got to remember to make yourself available. I mean, I was sitting down at the end of the dock at my pond, and I took a pebble, and I dropped it in the water, and I watched it kind of just quietly, silently, probably the most direct down, and just settle down into the bed or the bottom of the lake. And it was just a sense of peace. You know, that the pebble was just resting softly in the quietude or the silence, if you would, because I don't know if it's like quiet there, but there's a stillness and a calmness. And in the stillness and the calmness, there's a sense of being available, of observing, of witnessing, of understanding, of relating, of seeing the interconnectedness of all things. This is what happens in our mindful practices. It takes some time to get there, which is why being involved with classes is powerful. You know, Tuesday nights, I'm doing the foundation class. Starts this week. If you haven't taken that class with me, you want to do it. The whole movement teaches this curriculum of the foundation class, and it's the basic principles. And most nights we're going to be meditating and becoming mindful and becoming available to that moment where the fullness of spirit begins to heal. It begins to bring things back into alignment. And the beauty of doing it within a class is because things begin to stir in us. And I time and time again hear people say, well, I started, but then I start to bring things up that I really don't want to deal with. Well, good. That's what we're working on here, right? But when you're by yourself, you don't really know. Do I really want to, look into this wound, into this pain? This is why the classes are invaluable. This is why it's working with a spiritual practitioner. It's invaluable. Mindfulness, it allows you to go into those a little bit darker places and observe what is going on there. What is it? Because I'll tell you what, something Pema Chodron said, and she is an American Tibetan Buddhist, very popular within our culture and her books and her writings. She says that nothing is going to go away until it has taught you what it came to teach you. You got that? I want you to, nothing's going to go away until it teaches what it came to teach you. It's going to keep raising its head, showing up, and you're going to be noticing the patterns showing up in your life in different kinds of ways. And so I'm going to become mindful because here it is again. Oh, here it is again. And it's not going away until I say, hey, buddy, come on in. Let's have a talk here. Let's sit down at the bottom of this lake where everything is still and I can begin to hear and feel and sense what is going on so it can be reframed. How you look at something is pretty much how you see it. I mean, that's not like too profound, but but how you look at something is how it tends to be for you. That old story of a new Jewish congregation that was coming together, and they were looking for a place to meet, and the town really didn't have any halls. They did find a church that was available for their Sabbath celebration on Saturday, and so they went ahead and signed the lease agreement, and after their first Saturday service, one of the congregants came up to the rabbi and said, Rabbi, Did you know that there's a cross up there on the stage? He said, shh, it's not a cross. It's a T for the Torah. You know? And you know, it's how you choose to reframe what's taking place. Because if something's happening in your life, it's happening in your life. It's not about pretending, oh, everything's fine. No, it's going on. The body is sick. There's a challenge in relationship. There's scarcity in your bank account. These are the physical facts. You know what? I need to sit with that dark spot that I don't want to do by myself, but I've been taking my class. I realize it's in my world. It's mine to look at. So I'm going to look at it here. I'm going to become mindful and allow that healing to emerge and begin to show me. And what I come to recognize is I've got to let go of what was and have faith in what is and what is to be, what is seeking to emerge right here, and trust this moment, because seconds are going to tick and take you closer to death, but moments are going to take you closer to life and living and the fullness of our expression. And so as we begin to allow the mindfulness to be a space and where the radiance of the birthing of something new comes, it begins to illuminate those shadows. You know, the birthing that is emerging brings light to the shadows or to those darker places that you've kind of tucked away. But you know what? They're working inside of you. You know, the law of attraction is bringing the challenges so you can take a look, but I'm not looking. Well, what happens is if you make yourself available to the radiance of Spirit's birth, of the new idea and the new possibility, it shines the light on those pains or those difficulties or those wounds, which is then your opportunity to take a look at them and to deal with them. And as you begin to work with them and deal with them, what happens is that vision begins to present itself in a greater way. See, the first thing is the vision begins to show up with its light. The second thing is those wounds or pains or difficulties need to be dealt with. A new kind of thinking, a new kind of thought, a new kind of relationship, a new kind of frame in which I'm going to look at this experience in my life with its lessons or whatever it has for me to know, and recognize that Spirit is omnipresent. So if I am led to go to a doctor when I am wanting to holistically do it myself, I begin to recognize doctor is the hands of God. I got to tell you, just this week, somebody from our congregation was in for surgery and came through with flying colors. You know, I got to tell you, somebody sitting in my class last year dealing with this great depression, and by the time they were dancing for their final class project, had somebody else in there dealing with the cancer, going through their chemo treatments just in a horrendous heaviness, and began to embrace this liquid gold, this liquid intelligence that was moving through them, and their body began to accept it in a greater harmonious way. These are the kind of shifts that take place to recognize that God is omnipresent, and that if I choose to be mindful with where I'm at in this moment right now, that I'm just available to the full expression of God to have its way as before. And so what happens is the first thing is the vision catches, brings light, shows it in this particular dynamic that I get to work on, and then I get to surrender with courage to that which is mine to do to support the vision that has come up in me. That's kind of the way that works there. And I'd love to tell you it's linear. Yeah, you know. Be nice to say, you do this, you do that, and boom. But it doesn't go like that. It's like all overlapping, just like boom, it pulses. You know, the more you shine the light, the more you realize you got to deal with, the more you deal with, the greater the vision becomes. The greater vision becomes, the more service you got. It's just exponential, that kind of way. But you know, you've got to begin to live your life from the gift. You got to live your life from what it is you see your life to be, and your life is being led from a higher place. That's beautiful. A lot of people allow their life to be led from fear. This is a mindfulness. Do I want to be led, into greater darkness, or do I want to be led into greater light? And when I say the light, I've got to trust the synchronistic unfoldments of what's happening in my life, because I may not necessarily know all the pieces that are going to get me from here to there. I got to live with that sense of trust, but in my mindfulness, I'll recognize that Spirit is in the present moment, and what unfolds here is the answer to prayer, and I begin to step out and realize there's a new story happening. It's happening within our culture, a new mythos, a new story needs to emerge in our culture, in our lives. A lot of us, are kind of hanging out in that in-between stage. I mean, I'm not what I was, but yet I'm not all that I'm to be. we're living in a time within our civilization and culture and on this planet, it's not what it was. And it's not quite where we're going, and I got to live within this trust, got to live within this and recognize that the cycle all the times is growth, crisis, collapse, emergence, a renaissance and emergence. There it's it. You got growth, crisis, collapse, renaissance, emergence. It's like a cycle. It is the natural rotation and the movement, but I can't begin to freak out if I'm in a spot where there's crisis going on. I've got to be willing to sit with it and say, what's my opportunity here? What is it that I need to know? I've got to be willing to befriend it. That's what happens with our mind. Yeah, that's it. You got to include it. You got to be willing to be mindful and befriend what's going on. And you begin to befriend yourself, your true self, your higher self. Your meditative practices aren't trying to get rid of you so you can be something better. What it is doing is befriending that which is seeking to emerge, that is seeking to have its way. It's something that is greater, that wants to be known. I mean, you've ever gone out like whale watching? Yes. And you're just kind of, you're down in Lagoon, San Ignacio. Anyway, you're kind of out there, you're waiting. Yeah. Yeah, you're just kind of waiting for like something to happen. And then all of a sudden, from the depths rises this ancient mariner that travels, hundreds, if not thousands of feet below the surface, and it rises, bringing with it its experience of the depths of being, and it comes forth with a power and a presence. And if you're blessed to be able to look into the eyes, you're able to see like this wisdom of this mammal that has been to the depths that I'll never go. But it brings to the surface, it is called by the light of something it can't reach, and it comes to the surface and it looks at you and you see a wisdom of something that has been there. Yeah. That is what it's like to be able to go into these deep places, the soul and the spirit, and to come back, or to sit with a teacher, or to sit with a friend or a loved one, and take the time to look into the depths of their eyes. I mean, if we're doing a class, if you're in a foundation class, Tuesday nights with me, right? You heard that one. But here's an exercise for you to do with one of your partners. You take their hands and you sit down across from them and you just close your eyes together. And just feel the love, the power of the present. And then you just kind of open your hands to open your eyes. And you look into those eyes of someone who has just been to the depths, that place, the wonder that cannot really be articulated, but can be felt. That's the depths we want to bring into our life. I mean, all of a sudden, when you have been there and you bring back the knowingness, you bring back the new vision, you participate in the Renaissance, you're coming with a new something that you have been there. And if you've ever been around someone who is able to cast a vision, they speak with a passion and a knowingness. Says, I don't know where you're going, but count me in. I'm going there too. They speak with an authority because that vision, that place, from being mindful, has brought it so real that it cannot be denied. I mean, when Kelly and I last year, we're hiking on our trail right underneath our house in Montana, and Callie was ahead of me, and she came to the top of the hill, and you heard this story. And on coming up the hill, she came face to face with this big old black bear, and she backed down. She said, "Bear." Well, Callie sometimes thinks she sees things that may not be there. But when she looked at me and the eyes were popping out of her head and the power within her voice, I was clear that she was clear that there was a big bear there. When you go to that depth and you experience that presence and you come back and you speak from that place, people will know that you have been there, and there is something that is moving through you for them to feel and see that can maybe not be articulated, but count me in because I'm going there too. So. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our philosophy, he wrote this book called The Science of Mind. that is really a correlation of the laws of science and the revelations of religion and the insights of philosophies. And it's a compilation. He said, hey, this isn't a revelation to me, guys. I just, took this common thread of truth that seemed to be everywhere, and I put it into what he called the science of mind. But he writes on his chapter on mental and spiritual treatment, 163 for all you textbook-toting metaphysicians here. Mental or spiritual treatment should bring into the actual manifestation the health and the happiness, which are the normal and divine, which is our normal and divine heritage. I mean, that's what it's about. It's nice to say all these things, but unless it is demonstrating in our life in ways that are relevant and real for us, why bother? But healing includes the emancipation of the mind from every form of bondage through a new concept of God. That's a new kind of framing. Things aren't seeming to work out here. I'm not seeing God. So the healing comes through a new concept of God, which causes the heart to beat with a joy and a gladness and say, I've seen the bear and I believe you. The healing, the power is a consciousness of the unity of all life and the spiritual nature of all beings. One life is rooted in Our life is rooted in the universal and the eternal, which life is none other than the life of God. And the healing process, insofar as it may be termed a process, is in becoming conscious of the eternal truth. That's what we're doing through our mindful practice. You want healing? You become conscious of the truth of the life that is God's, that is my life. Treatment should incorporate a conscious recognition of this truth, that health has always been ours, abundance has always been ours, happiness and peace has always been ours. They are ours now, and they are the very essence and the truth of our being. That's it. That is the very truth. That's what we are becoming mindful of, is the truth of who we are. Health is our natural state. But sometimes it gets covered over. You ever make it to the edge of our continent, like right there on Neptune, and look out at ocean at high tide, and the water's just like up on the bluffs and knocking, and then you stand or you come back like 6 hours later, and you look out over Swami's, and you see the reef. You see all these tide pools that weren't there before because they were covered. Tell you what, it is about being patient enough to see what comes from the depths. It's being patient enough to allow the turmoil and the waves and the chaos to recede so you can begin to see the tide pools or the fish that are in it, the starfish, the anemones, the seaweed, the life. That's what mindfulness is. It's like sitting like that pebble at the bottom of the lake, just being softly supported by life and just being quiet in the stillness and seeing, as spirit sees what is going on and what isn't happening. And it's as we continually befriend ourselves, not try to dominate it, but befriend it gently. It's not something that can be forced, which is the beauty of classes. It unfolds with an ease and a grace. It is a process. You can't rush yourself to this place of connected with the infinite. It's about allowing. It's the butterfly landing. It's the old story of the apprentice working with the master and saying, Master, how long is this going to take for me to get enlightened? And he said, 10 years. And the kid said, what? What if I work really hard and put in twice as many hours? Then how long? And he said, well, then it will take you 20 years to get there. You cannot force this process. It is a practice. The mindfulness practice is being available to witness, to see, to sense, to observe. It is just allowing that presence to be revealed, the true nature of who you are, which is perfect, whole, and complete. And if you got a challenging situation or circumstance in your life, the challenging circumstance doesn't dictate where you're going. The only thing it does is say, this is where you're standing right now. But so often people don't want to say, well, I'm not standing here. This isn't real. It's all an illusion. Yeah, it may be an illusion, but you got a problem. It's like, okay, the the Buddha said that he invited his arch enemy, Maya to come on in, the illusion to come on in, and to my friend, Maya, whoever said I had an enemy, come on in, let's talk. As we're willing to befriend through our mindfulness practice without judgment, without bringing our perspective, but being available to the God perspective, we begin to realize that those limitations aren't real. If you're going to have limitations, let them be limitations to your limitness. Your limit. Yeah, let your doubts be of your limits. It's like not the magnificence of your being. Don't despise the bottom rung of your ascent to greatness. Recognize that you've got what it takes to be able to move forward. And as you to take a look at where the pains and the difficulties are in your life, you'll come to recognize that I don't need to be shameful about my path or my past or my challenges. That shameful sense doesn't serve you. You just want to be with it. Rumi, he said the wounds are where the light comes in. Your wounds is where the light enters. Your wound is where the presence of God is right on the surface saying, take my hand here. This is not who you are. It's the experience. It's where you're standing. And when you're willing to come into this moment and move and crawl into that wound, you're going to come to recognize not what you feared, but the glory of God is seeking to illuminate what's going on there. But you got to be willing to do your mindful practice in the darkest spots that are going on, and healing will happen. Ram Dass said that healing isn't going back to how it was before, but rather it is moving to a place to recognize God. To recognize God. That's not quite how he said it, but it's pretty close. Yeah. It's about recognizing that the presence of God is right there. It is to assist you to come to know God is there. Your awareness, Deepak says, is about giving you the freedom to choose your path and not being beholden to what the past imposes. We don't want to be beholden to what the past imposes, but we got to bring a new kind of awareness, and that's what we are invited to do. And I'd love to tell you, it's really easy to become mindful and go like the magician and get it all lined up. But it's like baptizing cats. It just doesn't go over really easily. It's like it screams and it hollers, but you know what? That's okay. It is okay to have that what was, trying to hold on to what it is. But we are in this time, the creation of the new mythos, the new story, the new way of being, and we are in not was and not what not yet to be. We're in this place, and what it takes is faith. What it takes is a mindful practice, so we continue to stay focused on the emergence of the presence of God, but the fullness that is ever available in the moment in which I sit, and nobody can do that for you, which is why if you want to experience greater healing in all those aspects of your life that matter most to you, is to just be there with the presence, and give it the space within your empty mind, the beginner's mind, the child's mind, the new mind, the one that is not stuffed with all the reasons why things are messed up, but rather be available, as Ernest says, for a new concept of God. A new concept of God as your life. A new concept from a higher perspective or from a deeper place where the wisdom is looking to rise up and shine as your very eyes for all to see the depths of who you are. God bless you. You're welcome. Hey. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Cahill and Deline back to our stage.
That's going to energize us all week long. Thank you.
Yeah. As I become more and more mindful and look around at people, I had this kind of a shocking realization that, we talk about black people and white people and red people and yellow people and blue people and green people and it suddenly dawned on me that we're really not all that different. I've never seen a person that's like truly white like this, or truly black like this. We're all just different shades of brown. we stand on common ground.
Sing along.
Well, I have never seen a white man. I have never seen a black man. Never met a yellow woman. Not a purple, red, or blue man. We are all just different shades of brown. Dark and light, not black or white. We stand on common ground. We are all just different shades of brown. Dark and light, not black or white. We stand on common ground. Well, I have never seen a green man. No, no orange, no tangerine man. I know at times we've all felt blue, man. But it seems to me we're all just human. We are all just different shades of brown. Dark and light, not black or white. We stand on common ground. We are all just different shades of brown. Dark and light, not black or white. We stand on common ground.
Mr. Bassman.
Mr. Bassman.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe on the chessboard the pieces are black and white. Maybe on the keyboard, woo, the keys are black and white. Are you living in your left brain? Well, 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 we're black and white are found. Moving to your right brain, woo, woo, woo. Well, all our shades of brown, yeah. We are all just different shades of brown. Dark and light, not black or white. We stand on common ground. We are all just different shades of brown. Dark and light, not black or white. We stand on common ground. Whatever skin tone on the outside, whatever differences we can't hide. Remember every human worldwide. The blood runs red here on the inside.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo!
Sing it with us.
We are all just different shades of brown. Dark and light, not black or white. We stand on common ground. We are all just different shades of brown. Dark and light, not black or white. We stand on common ground. Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is Cahill and Deline. And Rebecca in there as well. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to share our gift to share our offering, to give our support in this wonderful unfoldment of this spiritual community that is known as the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. It is a thriving spiritual community whose mission is to inspire people to live their divinity, and we're doing good. And together we are able to do this. And I'm just excited by the wonderful direction we're headed into this fall, and my heart is filled with appreciation for all the love that you have brought this community in this last year. And just want to remind you, we've got a wonderful party on next Sunday after the service, so plan to be part of that. But it's in this moment that I'm just filled with gratitude for the gifts that come forth from you that create a solid platform for which we stand and are able to stand. And as you give, it comes back. And it is through the practice that we come to recognize and know that the wonderful flow of Spirit has many streams of support into our life. And so as we continue to support Spirit's work, we find Spirit supporting its work as your life and what's near and dear to your heart. So with that said, I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward at this time and say thank you to this wonderful crew. Thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday. It is greatly appreciated, as well as those that practice the auto tithe. That's that regular support from your world into Seasides. And so I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that this is a blessed moment where the fullness of Spirit emerges. It is the renaissance of the new state of ease and grace and abundance, living with a sense of security and peace that is real for each and every one of us as we choose to participate in the wonderful movement of the abundant expression of life. So with joy we give, with joy we receive, and with joy we continue to walk in balance in this wonderful world and the richness of it all. And so it is. Amen. And together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Your guys from Seaside. Nice job. And so as I stand before this bounty, I can feel the outpouring, the love, and the caring, and the compassion, for truly the blessings and the support of God is upon this moment. And each and every one of us becomes that wonderful avenue through which it flows. So with joy it has been given, and joy it has been received. Good stewardship it is handled and is put back into life to bring that love and that joy and blessings to everyone it comes in contact. Thank you, God, for this emerging, expanding, growing moment of the wonderful, affluent flow of life. And so it is. Amen. All right. Josh Franklin, your vice president from the Board of Trustees. Took a lot of us out to the Padre game on Thursday, and a lot of fun. Our consciousness didn't quite help push them into the win column, but next year. Okay, I mean, they're already lining up to be part of that day. That was a lot of fun, so thank you for that. Appreciate it. Josh Franklin. And Barry and Deline, just thank you two so much for the wonderful music and song coming in from Valley Center to be with us. So that's good. Rebecca, always a joy to share Sunday mornings with you. How fun. It's good. Yeah, it's a great sound with the three of you on there. That was like good harmony for sure. Hey, giving us sound today is Ed. Giving us the visuals is Marv. Nice job. Thank you to our wonderful film crew and editing crew behind the wall. Continue to hear wonderful stories of our online community that is expanding and growing, and we know that you're there. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for your prayer requests and your letters of healing that are going on. Truly, I hear wonderful stories of healing that take place all the time. So, lots going on at Seaside. Susan, I was going to have... just left. Well, I won't give her the microphone. I'll just bring out the piñata. So you probably saw Brian riding this out onto the stage a little sooner. Did you have fun with this, Brian? You know, and Kathleen, she was riding in the back. It was about her size. Prayer, you won't have to model it. But our kids get a piñata for our fiesta next Sunday. Plan to be here. Plan to bring friends. Plan to bring kids. You got Kenny Dye. Fabulous entertainer, performer, singer is going to give us a concert out on the stage. We got the street tacos that the Board of Trustees is putting together for all of us. There's no cost. It's a thank you. It's appreciation. It's gratitude for all your love. So plan to bring some friends. It's a great day to show off Seaside. And I'd love to see our patio just filled to capacity with all of us and needing more chairs. So do that. Also, classes are starting this week. You've heard me talking about the foundation class. I'd love to have you sign up today because I need to get you a work booklet. So plan to do that. If you've done that class, and Deb Sadler's teaching, the roots of this philosophy, she'll be at the sign-up table as well. We've got on the weekend, we've got Rebecca Berry teaching a class on sound and breath. We've got Ida starting a class the following Monday. There's just some wonderful offerings. Thursday, there's chair yoga going on. This is kind of the time in which classes start, if you haven't noticed. So we're catching that consciousness. And what I'd love for you to be in that. Life just works better when you're in class is what we like to say around here. So plan to be part of that. Practitioner class is going up. If you're close to being available for a practitioner, talk to me. It starts this week, a convenient time at 3 o'clock on a Thursday during the day. Get you out at a decent time. Men's group is meeting next Saturday. There's a lot going on at Seaside. Jean Houston's coming. If you got your Jean Houston ticket, she'll be here the first 3 days in November. We still could use some volunteers for that. We could use a marketing team on that for sure. Seaside could use a graphic, some graphic design. So if you got that, and we could use you for sure. Just volunteer, hands-on, or some marketing. That would be helpful. We always put together a strong marketing team for events to get the word out. So, and the other biggie that's coming up, I almost didn't say it because I assumed everybody already has their ticket for golfing, but the golf outing adventure tournament, call it what you will, a day of the golf course is coming out on October 18th. It is a wonderful day on the course out at Camp Pendleton, and we've got the course to ourselves. John has set that up again this year, and then it's followed. And if you're not a golfer, if you're a golfer, you get Rebecca's ticket, but if you want to just join us, drive out there. Rebecca's doing a private concert for all of us out at Camp Pendleton Friday night. So if you don't golf, then come on out. I don't golf, and I'm still signing up for the tournament. See, I try to handicap people. Anyway, so it's going to be a lot of fun. There's so much good opportunities to socialize, to get involved with one another, to play with people of like mind around Seaside, and you're the one who has to be courageous enough to step into it. We present the opportunities, but if you want to deepen friendships and relationships and engagement with people of like minds, the Gourmets for God, the classes, these outings, just like Jean Houston, one of the things she said is that all of us are coded with the extraordinary extraordinary just waiting to come out. And what she's going to do is she's assisted presidents of the United States, world leaders for the last 50 years to bring out their extraordinary aspects. She's going to do that for us. All we can do is present it to you. You're the one who has to say yes. Yes, 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 yes. So with that, I'm going to pray with my new buddy. If the kids were out here, I'd ask them if, whether they'd name them. But right now I can feel that presence, that life force, that divine that unfolds right here in this very moment. For this has become the divine vortex, that wonderful swirl, that place of the emergence of that greater realization, the truth of being, that life force that breathed each of us into expression. That it is in this place that I come to remember my true nature, which is wholeness, is well-being, it is abundance, it is self-expressing. For I come into that abracadabra moment of the magicians, where I come into this space where the fullness and the presence of God has its way in my field of awareness, and I become the articulator of that greater vision, of that one who has seen from the depths of being, the revelation filled with the jubilation of the wholeness that is there for each and every one of us, the polisher of this revealer of the silver, the gold of one's being. For truly I know for each and every one of us the greater conscious connection with that infinite source, and with that the unfoldment of that greater yet to be that is ours. Not what someone says is ours, but that which stirs our individual souls. There is a courage, there is a strength, there is a conviction that comes from the mindful practice of observing the truth of who we are, that anything that is impeded or gotten into the way dissolves into the nothingness from which it came. It is obliterated, and what emerges is the wholeness, is the sparkle, is the radiance that continues to shine the greater light on the path for which each of us has chosen to walk. And so we walk upon this earth just in awe of the miracle of being in the moment, as we step upon the soft earth and see the blue skies and smell the fresh pine and see the white clouds and the eagles soar. I know right now that the fullness and the glory of God is, and it is in my mindful practice that I see and I know, and as that which I look for is what I see and I become and I express in my world. And so the truth for each and every one of us is to be able to live with an ease and a grace and an abundance to support that for which we have been called to do. A sense of freedom in our self-expression, knowing that all the resources are already in place to fulfill the vision for which each of us has been entrusted. So grateful to know that the good is unfolding, that this body is the temple of God and it knows how to right itself. And as that spirit is moving through, it purges out that which does not belong, and every cell is activated and reverberates and resonates and just absolutely comes into that perfect alignment of wholeness to allow your awareness to walk this world. Relationships are a laboratory for honesty and intimacy, looking into the depths of one another's eyes to remember, to know, love, to communicate, to express. Something good is going on here. I can feel it. I sense it. And I know that the grace and the good of God is moving in this moment. Just feel it, accept it, and say yes to the blessings that is in this moment. It is available for each and every one. Be in that stillness like that pebble in the pond. Observe and feel and sense. Then rise like the whales from the depths and bring that light to all that you are and all that you do. For I am grateful for the good that is going on. I'm thankful that the prayer requests put in our prayer request chest are manifesting here and now. For our beloved Candace Young Schultz, who had surgery this week, that hip is moving and grooving once again, and I see her swinging in the hula. For truly the blessings of Spirit is with her, as it is with each and every one of us. For something good is going on within this community. Seaside is continuing to grow and to flourish and thrive and prosper because it continues to be vision-led. And in this radiance, it shines those areas for deeper work for this community to do. Courageously we go forward, finding the richness that is touching each and every member and friend of this ever-growing, thriving spiritual community. For our mission is to inspire people to live their divinity, and it is happening, and it is going on. And I am grateful to see it, to be part of it, and to experience it myself. And so I stand with gratitude for the good that is, for the manifesting expression of Spirit in our individual lives. And I let go. I trust, I believe with an unshakable conviction in the divine right action that has its way. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say. Come on, Seaside.
I release and I let go.
I let the
Spirit run my life.
and my
Heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God.
no more
Struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light.
I am
Free in the Spirit.
Yes, I'm
Only here for God.
Say I release
And I let go.
I let
The Spirit run my life.
and my
Heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God.
say no more
Struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light.
I am
Free in the Spirit.
Yes, I'm
Only here for
God. Come on, Seaside, sing it from your heart. Beautiful, that's it.
No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light.
I am
Free in the Spirit.
Yes, I'm
Only
here for God.
And our affirmation of the week is, I am now aware of my greater possibilities. Together, I am now aware of my greater possibilities. Touch your heart and say it again. I am now aware of my greater possibilities. One more time, like it is your truth from the depths. I am now aware of my greater possibilities. In our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears. In this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. 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 Have a wonderful week, Seaside. You're welcome.